Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then to the tyrants that are out there. And God knows there are a ton of them. They happen to be governors and the mayor of the District of Columbia. And apparently whatever they say goes. I didn't know that we had kingdoms inside the Constitution, but apparently we do. And one of the young people who are mostly concerned with this particular issue is Alice Butler-Short. She's the founder of Virginia Women for Trump, an organization that has grown from 22 to 1,000. She's a very powerful woman. I'm ever so grateful for her spending some time with us this particular evening. Ms. Butler-Short, I don't know where in the Constitution where authority was given to the states to obstruct the Constitution itself, including telling churches that they could not open their doors. I want to get your thoughts and your opinion on the power, the imperial power that these governors, especially Governor Northam, holds around the country.
It's absolutely shocking. And what is even more shocking is the way everyone just caved in. And of course, they used fear, right? None of us want to infect somebody else or see somebody else die. And I think they created hysteria that wasn't necessary. And the so-called experts were using models that weren't correct. And our wonderful president was caught between a rock and a hard place. And, he was told we needed a little time to flatten the curve. We flattened the curve after 10, 15 days or whatever. And now we are stuck with all of these restrictions, which is destroying families, destroying businesses, destroying lives. I'm a very, very upbeat person, and normally it's okay. This is the problem now. Let's see what the solution is. But we're handcuffed. We can't. We can make a little noise. Now, in DC, you have a wonderful woman called Suzanne Monk who started Reopen
Yes.
America the very first day, actually. And she has called for a people rally at the Lafayette, Lafayette Park? Yeah, Lafayette Park on the 14th from 12 to 2 p.m. So we really do need a lot of people to show up there, because the mayor of DC is out of control. She really is. She really is.
That's an understatement. That's a simple understatement. The mayor of the District of Columbia has shut down every business, and her key line has been this: I don't feel comfortable opening DC. While all the government employees are working and getting an extra $15 an hour for hazardous pay, there are small businesses like barbershop owners, restaurant owners, daycare centers. All of these individuals have gone without pay for 2 months, and then will be expected to pay mortgages and utilities and, of course, their taxes when they get back.
Yes.
I want to get your thoughts regarding the frivolous expectations of the imperial leaders.
Well, when she said that when that mayor said, I feel, she's not supposed to do things that affect the citizens based on how she feels. She's supposed to do it based on the law. And I don't know where the law gives her the authority to shut everything down arbitrarily. I really don't. And I don't know why there is no reference to our Constitution in all of this. Our First Amendment rights have totally been shredded. You have the churches. Imagine could I ever imagine when I lived in Hong Kong and England and Ireland and Singapore and Africa and Canada that I would ever see the day when churches when we would be forbidden to go to church here in the United States. It reminds me of 1965 when I went into China, when right after the Cultural Revolution, and the big cathedral in Canton had a sign on it, "Stone House." This is where we're at. Why have we given them that power?
You know,
Isn't there something that we can do to
now
take back our freedom?
you use a very powerful statement there. Why have we given them? Because we give them the authority to govern us. Apparently, we have given them the authority to rule us. Am I right in that regard?
Yes, and I think the biggest challenge right now is for people to get over your fear. Take those masks off. As I've said many times, it's your own private petri dish,
Yes.
and just throw it away. You don't need it. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anyone else. Now, even the president in the White House, he under pressure again, just to try and please the media or give them less to talk about. Everyone in the White House now needs to wear a mask. So this mask thing is being used now as it's almost to me like an act of submission to
Yes.
the government. And so we must fight against the masks. We really must, because we are not going to be normal again while everyone's walking around with a mask over their face. We either need to do that or produce a few million Trump masks and then freak them out and all
There
wear
you
Trump
go.
masks.
There you go.
So,
Alice,
so
you have a governor in the Commonwealth who said from the very beginning, we are one. We came in as one. We shall go out as one. And earlier today during his press conference, he advised that he may allow Southern Virginia to go first and then Northern Virginia to go second, because there seems to be more, as a result of testing, more cases of COVID-19 than in the North and the South. I want to get your thoughts regarding regionalism now being used to separate people from their livelihood.
well, this governor Northam is either stupid or evil.
Take a pick.
Take a pick. Take your pick, right? 98% of the people who get COVID recover, right?
Yeah.
Will 98% of the small businesses in Virginia, particularly Northern Virginia, will they survive this?
No.
Maybe they could if they were told open up tomorrow. But I'm seeing more and more and more. I drove down to Lorton Station today, and beautiful little sort of town center, and it's like a ghost town. And I see the names on all of these small stores, all of these places who were owner owned. These owners are going to go broke.
Yeah.
It saddens me. It hurts my heart, I'll tell you. And all we can do is encourage the people, our people. We, the people, must stand up. We must start making demands. And I think the first thing we can do, I keep saying it, and people will say awful things about me. She doesn't care about this. She doesn't care about that. I do. I care deeply. But the mask is not helping you. It's not helping anyone else. It's not helping the economy. But it is an act of submission to this out of control governor here and everywhere else.
Alice, there are those, when we speak about compassion, who don't know that I lost the best man from my wedding as a result of COVID-19, and as well others who are conservative have also been impacted as such. Is this a heart issue for us, or is this a reasonable issue for us between what it means to be alive and well?
It's a very difficult situation for us. I think perhaps New York should have been shut down to begin with,
Hmm.
but then it became like mass hysteria all throughout the country when it was totally unnecessary. And like I said, everyone I think went along with okay, a couple of weeks, 2, 3 weeks, but now it's beyond that. Now it's do we want to live? Do we want to live? Are we as adults, are we capable of taking care of our own health? Can we be responsible citizens? I think this is the land of the free
Yes.
and the home of the brave. Are we brave enough now to stand up? Are we brave enough to stand up and demand our freedom back? It's not a matter of compassion anymore. It's a matter of saving this country before we have no country. And
Indeed.
I'm very passionate about that. So I don't know who's listening, but whoever is listening or watching, I would appeal to you to look at it from that perspective. Yes, I know people who have died, and I know people who have had it. Um, I have two relatives. One had it fairly seriously.
Yes.
She was a nurse, and she's recovered. And the other one, it was like like it was COVID, but it was no worse than getting the flu.
Flip.
So
Exactly.
keep the 98% number in your head. 98% recover from COVID. 98% of businesses will not recover unless we do something now.
Now, a lot of people, Alice, and I can understand as a conservative why you don't understand this. You know, uh, government is going to take care of all of us. Government's going to give us $2,000 a month, and that's going to be enough to take care of all of our needs. Why can't you get on board with that type of thinking?
I can't get on board with that kind of thinking because here we are now, equal everything. This again, I go back to what I saw in China. Everybody was equal. Everybody had the same blue suit. Everyone had the same little red scarf. And what is $2,000 going to do for these people who have businesses who are going to be deeply in debt, who are now no longer going to own those business? $2,000 a month is not. This is an appeal to people, perhaps at the very, very lower income level to get their vote. That's
You know,
what it's all about. It's now gone beyond health. It's now a political issue, and we knew from the beginning they would make it into a political issue.
they say that we have not seen 20% unemployment since the Great Depression. And I remember when Bill Maher said that the only way that we could stop Donald Trump is by upsetting
Yes.
the entire economy. Do you
Hmm.
subscribe to the thought that this was an intended consequence of the COVID 19 response?
At this point, yes. At this
Thank you.
point, that is what it's all about because um, they hate Trump more than they love our country, more than they love the people of this country. And those of us who know President Trump, who have seen him, who have watched him from day one, who have had the intelligence to listen to him, know that he is a good man who didn't have to do this and he loves the people of this country and he will always do the best for them. Now we somehow got to help take the handcuffs off him too, because that's where he's at today.
When you have a group of people who have decided not to come back to Congress until it's quote unquote safe, they are the Democrats. And in fact,
Hmm.
Nancy Pelosi is prescribing a lunch bag of agenda giving global warming issues that she wants dealt with when they return in exchange for support of a stimulus. Is this prudent? Should we be using our government for these particular purposes? political wishes, or should we be trying to help the American people as best we could?
We're helping the American people as best we could, but the stimulus that is supposed to be out there for these small businesses, it's not getting to people. I've just been with somebody who was asked by someone else that I think there are a lot of little scams going on with people taking advantage of it. And this particular person is charging $5,000 to people with limited English, to put the application in, and nothing is really happening. So there's a whole lot going on that is so unfair, and that is, again, it's going to contribute to destroying these small businesses.
Do you believe it's enough within the American people to rise up now? I mean, when you shut down churches, I thought the Christians would just put on their revolutionary garb and start running through the streets with their muskets, and there was nothing, absolute silence. What will it take to revive the spirit of the revolution in America, to take back their country?
Take away the fear. If you think about it, all of these countries that have been taken over overnight by communism or religious extremists or whatever it was, overnight. How? Fear. The people were afraid, so they caved in. We've got to take away the fear. Are we, until everything is safe? When is it ever safe? Can you get up and go out in the morning? Can you guarantee that you're going to be safe for the rest of the day?
That's a darn good question. Nobody ever asked that.
You could be hit by a car. Yeah, you could be hit by a car. Anything could happen, And during this 2016 campaign, I drove an old 1993 F-150 red truck with a big A-frame sign on it. And my sons would say, Mom, you're leaving yourself open to a hate crime.
Speaking of elections, and we've heard rumors that Donald Trump is going to forfeit the federal elections, and become king of America. And we're hearing this from Democrats, so it's not worth anything. But won't he be negatively impacted this year as a result of having 20% unemployment, businesses suffering from COVID-19? Aren't they going to blame this on Donald Trump?
Do you know, this man, all of us who are conservative, and of all of us who, believe in God, I don't think there is one who doesn't believe that God called him and he answered the call.
Yes.
So I say God is not going to leave him now. God is still with him. And what he can do through this man in 4 or 5 months could be absolutely amazing. This man is brilliant on every level. I think he's very, very frustrated right now. But this too shall pass, and he will come out on top. He always does, because he always does the right thing, because his heart is clean. Sorry, but I just one point.
Yes.
During his rallies, I don't think many people noticed how many times he used the word love, God, and light. Mm-hmm. So if we call ourselves Christians, each one of us have to throw away that fear, one by one by one. And the same thing with shining the light. We each have a little spark, ignite it, let it become a flame. Get out there, shine it.
Now,
and we can do it in a very good way.
I got to have you come back. You're going to be a very important part of election coverage. Virginia is a very important part of the upcoming elections, and also 2021 for the state elections to the legislature, because you need a state legislature that's going to curb the authority of a governor during a pandemic or any other emergency.
Yes.
But you are a very powerful woman. How can people rub shoulders with you this week in Washington?
Okay, go on to the Facebook group page, Virginia Women for Trump, and message me. I answer every message, every text, and and every email. Or you can email me at the easiest one is Alice Butler Short without the hyphen at gmail.com. That's Alice Butler Short at gmail.com. And, you know, the more of us that can get out there, we each have a contribution to make. We each have different gifts. Let's put them all together and save this country.
Exactly. And when does the saving begin? What day and where?
Um, the 14th, which is next Thursday, or yeah, this Thursday,
This sir.
the 14th at Lafayette Park from 12 to 2 p.m.
And that's in Washington D.C.
That's in
Ladies and gentlemen.
Washington, D.C., and it's just a peaceful gathering there. We need as many people to show up as possible because we need to show this mayor enough is enough. If you love DC, and we all love DC, we're in Virginia, but we go in there all the time, you know. People
Yeah.
go in to see the monuments, to, you know, the Library of Congress, you know, there's so much in there. And coming up for the summer, all the children come from all over the states, you know, to see the history, the amazing amount of history that is in there. So we have to stop her in her tracks or cut her off at the knees, whichever you
Whichever.
like to do,
Muriel
whichever you
Bowser,
prefer.
Governor Hogan, Governor Northam are
Yes.
among of a litany of imperial judges that have elected themselves to office, and we need to take them completely out of office if possible. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I want to thank this wonderful young lady whom you can connect with at Virginia Women for Trump. If you just Google that or DuckDuckGo it, you'll find it. She is the founder of Alice Butler Short. You can also find her on Twitter at vawomentrump and at Alice Butler Short. God bless you. Thank you so much for all you do, and we look forward to your return to our program.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful conversation. We got more coming up. I want to talk with you about something that Facebook did to me today, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to win. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more of the best in urban conservative talk, news, and movies. It's TECN TV. You can find us at The Exceptional Conservative Show. We are not a democracy. We are a republic.